welcome to the 4th episode of Vakil Paathashala. I'm your host Rachna S. And today's episode is a very special one because we are joined by a woman who's not just an advocate but a powerhouse of strength, experience and dedication. And if you've ever wondered what it takes to build a long-lasting career in criminal law, to handle some of the most serious and sensitive cases and to balance both practice and teaching, this episode is for you. Joining us today is Advocate Ms. Nancy Prince with 32 years of experience. She has completed her LLB in 1994 and her LLM in 1996 from University Law College and has since been actively practicing and while also teaching for over 21 years now at institutions like University Law College, Bishop Cotton Women's Law College and CML Law School. She has handled a wide range of cases including murder trials, POCSO and family matters, and also serves as the Registrar of Christian Marriages under the Government of Karnataka. Beyond her courtroom work, she has also been a part of the legal team on the reality show Idu Yaru Bareda Kateyo, telecasted on Kasturi channel, where she has appeared in nearly 100 episodes. It's an absolute honor to welcome you to Vakil Paathashala, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we're truly looking forward to hearing your insights and experience. To begin with, let's start with your specialization. What inspired you to choose criminal law as your area of practice, and was there a particular moment or influence that led you to this direction?
Well, when I started practice, I was visiting an office of a senior at the city YMCA, where my senior was more into criminal laws and heinous crimes like murder. Those days we didn't have POCSO, but we did have rape cases.
Yeah.
There were dacoity cases and a wide range of criminal matters. Because of which, though I specialized in labor law and did my masters in labor law, I have always taught both at the University Law College and the other colleges. I've always taught penology, criminology, IPC, CRPC and evidence. But I did not take a fancy to going into the labor field. So criminal law, as you say, it's not just about criminals which we try to speak about today, trying to maybe demoralize them by trying to pinpoint and say he's this, he's that, because more of the crimes today, as you know, are not genuine. Most of the complaints are either with some type of an intention or maybe some type of a motive. So because of this, when you realize that there are a lot of people's lives who are disrupted because of their dignity and their futures are all at stake because of criminal cases, I felt the need that I should also practice on this area so that I will be able to give them justice. So because of which I took a liking to criminal law cases, criminology, penology, and since then I have been practicing on the criminal side.
Wow. Now that we understand your area of expertise, let's talk about your journey. Could you share your path from school to becoming a practicing criminal advocate, and what were some of the key challenges and turning points along the way?
I would say that when I enrolled at the bar about 32 years ago, there was no glamour or any sort of a godfather out there who could help me. I did not even have any relative or anyone in my family who comes from a legal background. So it was just hard work, and I would say a lot of patience that has brought me to the stage where I am today. I started work as a junior and learned procedures running through the corridors of the various courts in Bangalore city and reading a lot of charge sheets, FIRs, statements, and running through all the relevant documents, precedents, and I would say a lot of law books just to make out which case would be good for my client, to help him either get a bail or for me to help fight his case. Even my senior would ask me to prepare and find a lot of cases or precedents when we used to deal with a lot of high court matters, so that I would be able to help him or assist him in getting more, I would say, decisions and citations to back up whichever case we were doing. So every case in criminology has taught me that there are no shortcuts in criminal law. It's only your honest work, preparation and the trust that the clients have in you which will help you to become a successful advocate.
It becomes more inspiring because now of what you told, I get to hear that you're first generation lawyer in your family. And
Yes.
it's more inspiring. Okay, moving forward, ma'am. We all know that criminal law is often very intense and emotionally very demanding. How do you handle certain emotionally sensitive or difficult cases like POCSO, dowry death, and what really goes behind the scenes for you?
Well, in these 3 decades or more of my experience, when handling murder, POCSO, dowry deaths, or even maybe rape cases or check bounce cases, dowry harassment complaints and cases, I have noticed that there is something human behind every accused person, because of which when we go to court, you cannot bleed in court, but you can follow one rule, and that one rule is to put an empathy and put yourself in the place of maybe both the victim as well as the accused person. So when I prepare for any sensitive case, I ensure that the victim or the witness, his dignity is protected, and though I am on the opposite side, on the side of the accused person, I try not to belittle whoever is the victim or the witness in the witness box. And whatever I do, my preparation is basically on law, and I don't let my emotions play on the case. Because once you let your emotions play, your mind does not think reasonably. So when I go and do any particular case before court, I first stand with confidence, only thinking of my client and how I am there to defend him. We are not there to emotionally get involved with the victim or their family. You cannot let your emotions try to cloud your judgment. So when you try to be firm in your decisions of only sticking to what you are there for, I think your mind is clear and you realize that you are there out only to do justice to your client.
So we cannot hold our emotional baggage and just focus on our work.
True. You cannot be emotional as an advocate, especially on the criminal side, because you should have empathy, but sympathy does not work where criminal law is concerned.
Ma'am, there's something that many people are curious, especially we law students. How do you defend someone you personally believe to be guilty? And what role does ethics play here in criminal law?
Okay. Well, my belief doesn't decide guilt. As a criminal lawyer, I would say it is evidence which decides guilt. So in all my practice, I've seen open and shut cases fall apart, and we have seen many innocent clients also being penalized for things they've not done. And also I have seen my own clients who I know are guilty coming scot-free and getting acquitted. So here my oath is to the Constitution and not my opinion. So when I stand as a criminal lawyer, I ensure that it is the duty of the state or the public prosecutor to prove his case beyond reasonable doubt. So it is not for me to decide whether my client should go behind bars or no. From the very outset, when I first speak to a client and decide to take up his case, right from day one, what works in my mind is to see how best I can get him scot-free, prove his innocence, or see that he is not penalized for whatever he does. So this is what I do, and with utmost faith, sincerity and hard work, referring cases and seeing where I could find a loophole in law, I try to defend my client.
As lawyers, we are supposed to defend our client. That is utmost importance.
True.
Okay, ma'am. So let's shift our focus to society and the system as a whole. How aware do you think people are today about their legal rights, and what changes would you like to see in the criminal system going forward?
Okay. Well, I would say that regarding the awareness of people, it is much better than it was maybe 3 decades ago.
True.
When I entered into the profession, I would say people did not know their rights. People did not know what were the rules, regulations, what were various laws, what were the rights of women, what were the rights that men had. Nobody knew because it was less spoken about. It was very rarely you would hear people climbing either the steps of a court or even to a police station. But today it is not the same, because you notice there are various, I would say, social medias wherein lot of advocate groups, lot of people like you all have lot of reels going on which tell people how they can claim their rights, either how to draft a will, how to make maybe send a notice, what they should know about women's rights, even if it is a man who's being, I would say, harassed by his wife, where he can take a recourse to law or what he can do. So we notice that there are a lot of material, not only in the books today, but also available on social media, which today youngsters just in maybe in less than a minute or two, they are able to realize what are their rights. So we should say thanks to the social media who has really enlightened a lot of people. And today everyone, right from the richest to the poorest of the poor, have a, I would say, smartphone, because of which they are able to watch these reels where they are informed about their basic rights and duties, not only in English but even in their own vernacular and local languages. So I would say especially today, it's not like how it used to be those days. Nevertheless, the awareness and the legal aid also, which is now given by courts, by the the district legal services authority, is tremendous. Okay, people from various walks of life, the lower strata of society, and even people who cannot afford a lawyer are able to avail legal services free of cost. And now at the click of a button, even you go to Google and ask your questions, okay, Google will tell you where to find legal aid and how to find the nearest advocate in and around your area. So awareness is very good, because owing to, I would say, the mass media and the social, I would say, media, which is maybe Facebook and the Instagram and all these other things.
I think this is one plus point through internet, that we have aware ourselves with basic rights.
True.
Ma'am, for all the inspiring lawyers listening to this, what skills should a law student develop to succeed in criminal law? And what message would you like to give them?
Okay, I would say that as a law student, it is very important that you always do 4 things which I would say. First thing is, make sure that when you become an advocate, you do things fast and at a reasonable speed. Because they say justice delayed is justice destroyed or denied. True. Second thing, when you're investigating into some very heinous crime and when you need a lot of investigation to be done, make sure that always, okay, you will make sure of forensic, you will go to the FSL, you will read a lot of medico legal books. So this will help you to decide how exactly, either in a murder case, in a POXO case, in a rape case, what is the determining factor of your case. even when it comes to dignity of under trials, okay, it is very important that as an advocate you make sure that as soon as possible you are able to avail a bail facility for your client, because it is a dignity for this under trial person to be jail should be an exception, as they say. But we notice that today 70% of those imprisoned or those in jail are usually the under trials who are just waiting for their bail orders and whose cases have still not started. So I would say that this is something that we should change in our criminal system. Okay, and people should make sure that, especially advocates, that we try to get our clients, especially first, out of prisons, because even sometimes innocent people are languishing in jail, and by the time they come out, due to the influence of people in the prison and in the vicinity of these jails, they also turn hardcore criminals by the time they come out from there. So for aspiring advocates today, I will say that when you practice as a criminal lawyer, or any lawyer for that matter, even maybe you're on the corporate side, maybe you're on the civil side, the only thing that you have to remember is being sincere, and your sincerity, your hard work is the only thing which will pay you in the long run. Remember that what you are learning in college is not even the basic of what is going to be once you come out as an advocate. Okay, there is so much that you have to read, there is so many bare acts, there are so many law books. Every act, everything has a different act. You are only taught the basic. Maybe when you go into a law college, you hardly have about 25-30 law subjects by the time you graduate and come out. But there are hundreds of law textbooks, hundreds of bare acts, and everything you should be knowing at least something. As they say, a lawyer should know something about everything, and where there's a particular case, you should know everything about that something. Only then you will be able to succeed in your profession and do justice to your client.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll all keep that in our mind. Ma'am, now let's address some of the most important practical questions for the public. What are the immediate rights a person has upon arrest?
Okay, when a person is arrested, okay, the first thing is he should be arrested with a warrant. That is, without having a warrant, a police officer cannot just come on the spur of the moment and catch you somewhere unawares and say, I am taking you into custody. So first he has to have a warrant to arrest you. Secondly, you have a right, if you are arrested by the police for any matter, you have the right to call a relative or a lawyer whom you can speak to or inform about your arrest. So immediately one of your family members or your relative should be informed about your arrest. Secondly, every accused person who has been arrested has the right to meet a lawyer of his choice. That means he can immediately speak to a lawyer and ask his lawyer what should be done under whichever circumstances he is being arrested. And once a person is arrested by the police cannot keep them or keep such an accused person for more than 24 hours in his police custody. He is supposed to produce him before the magistrate within 24 hours. And even when he is produced before the magistrate, before which he is supposed to be taken for a medical examination to make sure that he is not suffering from any internal injuries or any hurt marks or any physical abuse which has been meted out to him at the police station. And most importantly, every accused should know that he can also be silent. He can remain silent and refuse to speak to the police till either his relatives or his lawyer comes. So this right of silence is something which people don't know. Most of them think as soon as they are caught by the police, they have to blurt out and they have to either give their voluntary statement or they have to give their
point of view.
yes, they have to own up to whatever has happened, and they have to tell the police of their confession statement, as you call it in a local, I would say in our layman's word, they call it a confession statement. But I would say that this statement which is given to the police can always be withheld, and a client can be silent and refuse to speak and say that he would only speak through his advocate. So these are the rights that people should know when they are arrested.
Ma'am, coming to accused who are falsely accused, where do they stand?
See, even if you are falsely accused, you have a right to remain silent, and police are not our friends, as we know, when they interrogate us. Okay, so even when they interrogate you, you are always expected to be polite, give your name, your address, and also you can always say that I would like to speak to my advocate, or my advocate will speak to you. So because of which the police too will not be able to manhandle you or even force or threaten you to give any statement which is against your will or wish.
Ma'am, one legal tip that every citizen must know.
Okay, I would say one legal tip that every citizen should know is, first thing is, try to avoid getting into conflict with law. But if for whatever reason you are on the wrong side of law and you have to rub shoulders with these people, that is the court, the police and the judiciary and everything, the first thing is call an advocate or call your nearest kith and kin. Tell them that such and such a thing has happened and try to get legal assistance immediately. Even if you are unable to get legal assistance, remember that I just mentioned legal services is available in your city civil courts. So there you can try to get legal advice where you will be given an advocate to appear and defend you free of cost.
Thank you, ma'am. Before we conclude, I have a very important question. What is that one piece of motive or advice you would like to give to young women who want to enter this profession?
Okay. Since I was also in the legal profession and in the teaching profession, I am really very proud to say that when I started teaching initially, okay, I finished my LLM in 96, and right from 98 itself I started teaching at the University Law College. I have noticed that time it was at a ratio of maybe 40-60. Okay, 40% of girls and 60% of boys. But with time, gradually, I entered CMR Law School and I noticed it was almost 65% of girls studying there and about 35% of boys. And when I went to Bishop Cotton Women's Law College, it was 100% girls studying there. So I think today many of the girls or females are venturing into this profession. It is a very noble profession, but no doubt not many of these girls get into the litigation side. Many of them venture into various other varied fields, corporate sector. But I would say that when I started 32 years ago, women advocates were very rare. But today, though we are still few, that's exactly why we need more girls and women lawyers to graduate and come into this profession. Because when we argue, we women really argue with a lot of conviction in our tone. Okay, women as such are very convincing when we speak. Okay, unlike the opposite gender, I would say we don't try to raise our voices. We don't get offended or triggered even when a judge asks us a question which we know is irrelevant. So women are more at peace. They are more, I think, emotionally and sentimentally also. They are very polite, gentle. They have a tone which is very, I would say, convincing. So I would say that motivation for women today is come into this profession, because in the long run, we need more of women lawyers and more of women in the judiciary too. To every budding advocate, I would suggest master procedure better than anyone else in the court hall, and you will know how firmly you can speak with courage and confidence. And once you know what you're speaking, once you're well prepared, you will not expect favors from a judge, because you know that 100% you've already won your case in your chambers when preparing. So it's just putting things and presenting it before the presiding officer. And another thing is your arguments will be more crisper, your ethics as women are tighter. Don't expect, as I would say, that I need to, because I'm a woman, I need to get a favorable order. No. Because when it comes to selecting an advocate today, it is gender neutral. It is gender neutral, I would say, because today nobody looks for a male advocate anymore. They look for who's the best in each field. Whether it's a civil case, a criminal case, a POCSO matter or whatever. People go by your integrity, your honesty, your hard work, and how well a person has fared in his profession. So when people think of criminal law, it is not just that, okay, can I go to a lady advocate or a male advocate? It's not that. It is, can I be in the hands or place my case in the hands of somebody I trust? So the system respects a woman who can't be bought today. As I said, honesty and sincerity plays a major role where our legal profession is concerned. So once you master the law, read as much as possible, gain knowledge, keep your hands clean and let actions speak. Okay, that means to every young woman, your integrity is your power. So with this, I would like to give you one incident that happened during demonetization in the year 2018. It was in the month of November, and one of my clients who had earlier approached me for a divorce, his wife came and told me that her husband had run away. Can we start that again? Before I close this today's session, I'd just like to mention one of my interesting cases to you all. In the year November 2016, just after demonetization, one of my clients who had earlier approached me for divorce, he was a driver of an ATM vehicle. Due to circumstances, he went to load money into the ATM, and at that moment, I do not know what passed in his mind. He decided that he would run away with the ATM vehicle. He ran away with the vehicle, took the money, not realizing how much money he had with him. And he had about 1.38 crores, 1 crore and 38 lakhs with him. And these were the new notes of 2000 which had come in after demonetization. So he took this money, ran away, and once he reached home, he and his wife and his little son were on the run. They did not know where to go, and that was the time when the banks were giving us 1 note per week. So imagine how many notes, thousands of notes were in his possession. They ran from place to place, Andhra, Chittoor, Kerala, Kota, Tamil Nadu, Chennai, so many places, okay, between 3 states of Andhra, Chennai and Karnataka, but they were not able to ultimately do anything with so much of money. So they came back to Bangalore, and a week after that, his wife approached me. She came to my office and called me and she said, "Ma'am, I'm here outside your house. I don't know what to do." She had come with her son, so I told her, "Okay, please come in." And then I asked her, "What have you done with the money?" Because I knew they had run away with the money, because It was all over television, their photographs, their pictures and everything else. And I knew very well these were my clients. And I also knew that I'm sure they will approach me for some type of a legal suggestion. And rightly enough, they were at my doorstep. So I asked her to please come in. Once she came in with her little boy, son, I told her, see, the best thing for you to do is to surrender. You and your husband surrender, and I promise you, I will get you the bail to come out. And as promised, I made them surrender that night at Banaswadi police station. Okay, and thereafter, as promised, I got them out on bail. And the reason why I had to mention this is, it's even in the internet, if you notice, it's on Google, the ATM driver who ran away with the money during demonetization. I wouldn't want to mention names, but the point here is, as an advocate, there are many such crossroads in which you will have to stand. Whether it is your ethics, your honesty, or the money before you. Money will always come and go, but your integrity, your honesty is the only thing which will bring you the name, and I would say the career that you have chosen will be fruitful only when you stand at that juncture and choose honesty, integrity above money and anything else. Okay, that day even I had a bag containing 1.38 crores, but it was, I would say, at that point of time, what we had been taught, maybe at home, in our maybe in our schools, in our colleges, and most importantly by our parents, that honesty and our integrity is most important. So, dear youngsters, budding advocates who are planning to join the legal profession, always remember, it's only your hard work, honesty, sincerity and your determination that will take you high above everything else, and then you will be able to reach great heights in this profession. Once you come to the great heights, there's no turning back. The first 5 years is only work, no money. Then the next 5 years, equal money, equal work, equal money, equal work. And finally, thereafter, you work, you don't work, your juniors work for you, but you know, it is only a good name, fame, and no doubt money is secondary, which comes along with this. Okay, so don't be students who think that okay, we can get into this profession because it's a very lucrative one. No, you're here to help the less fortunate, the downtrodden, those who cannot avail services of an advocate. Try to help them, try to give them free service. Okay, end of the day, God will definitely bless you.
Thank you, ma'am. What a powerful and insightful discussion this was. Ma'am, your journey truly reflects that success in the legal profession comes from hard work, sincerity and strong conscience. Thank you, ma'am, once again for being part of Vakil Paathashala. On behalf, we hope this episode has given you not only valuable insights, legal knowledge, but also motivation to pursue the career. This was the 4th episode of Vakil Paathashala, and we will continue to bring you conversations that inform, inspire and empower. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning and keep growing. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you.